David, a loss today, but I guess that doesn't matter in pre-season. But how do you assess today?
Yeah, I think the first thing to say is that they scored 2 goals from defensive set pieces, 2 corners that we haven't worked on. So that's not, that's nothing to sort of worry about in that sense. There was plenty to ponder, that's for sure. We've had a couple of tough days. I think the lads yesterday expected an easier day and we didn't. We doubled down on what we were doing, so there's a bit of mitigation there. But then I also think there's no real mitigation for a lack of quality from some at some points. So, without trying to get too caught up in, it's pre-season friendly, and we're asking them to do things that they might not have done before and all that kind of stuff. And think a bit more and understand and forge new relationships. And obviously, we've got Henry Brown who's a second-year scholar, and obviously Charlie Clements who's an extended scholarship, and obviously Caribbean Cameron at the end who've been involved all pre-season, and they're finding their feet in professional football. Plus 3 trialists, so it can look disjointed. I've said that all the way through. And today it did against better opposition. So yeah, there's plenty to ponder, plenty to work on, and I think it's a real good, sort of like yardstick for the players mainly to say, look, there you go. York are going to be, I don't know. I'm sure they've got aspirations of being near the top end of the table next year. But we've got to be much better in possession. We haven't done anything out of possession yet. So not getting the press right, or them getting out from us not quite getting things right, I can accept again. But there was plenty of stuff that wasn't very pleasing.
And I guess if you're going to make a mistake, do it in pre-season. Get them out of the way now.
Yeah, I'm not too happy about the result in that sense. Why? Because I think it's you can go all the way through pre-season thinking everything's hunky-dory and get to the first game. Like I say, I'd much rather have, I don't want to use the term wake-up call because it's not, but at the same time it's like, there you go, look, if you think you've cracked it because we've beat Boston, I think again, I'm not saying anyone has because I don't think they have, but there was plenty of things. I thought there was a real poor quality from us. And that's the disappointing thing from today.
And also, you're building up, aren't you? You've played Grimsby Borough, Cleethorpes, and now Boston, and now you've gone up to a National League team. So it's that progression, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, obviously Boston were a National League team, but they just got promoted. And we know that York are a different National League team in that sense. I'm sure Boston would agree. So yeah, we've specifically done it like this, and we knew that York, with Adam and the way they play, it would be a test for us, and we had to keep the ball much better than what we did. So if they got through us, you go okay, because we haven't worked on anything like that, but we kept giving them the ball back. That's the disappointing thing.
Any positives to take today? I guess players got minutes.
Yeah, listen, it's not all doom and gloom, because I don't want people to think that it's just because of the result. It's not. There was lots of positives. We put more than enough moves together to score goals. And for one reason or another, there's one where like Greeny crossed it in the first half where he could have just slipped Jason in. There's one where Cam, we do have a shot and it goes just past the post, for example. There were quite a few of them. It's like, get them refined and get them better and create greater volume, and suddenly we are looking much more threatening throughout the game as opposed to sporadically. So there's lots of things like that. Like I said, we've got to see the trialists again. We've got 4 young kids on the pitch, so there's lots of positives. I thought Cameron was very good. Janet, I thought he was excellent, and there was 1 or 2 others like that. But then there was 1 or 2 others that I thought, oh, hang on a minute, he's going to need an arm around him, and he's going to need this telling to him again. And so there were lots of learning things, and I'm sure I'll pick up even more when I watch it again in the morning.
Curtis went off with a nasty-looking injury. What was the problem there?
I think he's just sort of stretched his hamstring a little bit. So that Jason went off at half-time because he was supposed to carry on playing. He thinks he's tweaked a groin. So they're the disappointing things, and the things that last longer than 24, 48 hours. So we'll have to see what they're like tomorrow and Monday morning.
Halfway now through the pre-season schedule of games, are you sort of where you'd think you'd be?
Yeah, we've got, the hardest week for them is next week, really, because it becomes a lot shorter, a lot more intense. I think you could see that probably York were ahead of us in that sense. I think they did look sharper, which again, I know where we're at, if you like, so I go, okay, I can accept that. But there were one or two bits that we should have been much further, done much better in, and we didn't today. So again, you've got to understand. Like I said, we've got 3 trialists. We've got again. So I don't want to sound like a broken record, but there were one or two that should have shown much better quality as well, and they didn't.
You've got a clear week now this week, no midweek fixtures, so what have you got planned for the players next week?
Well, we purposely did it so that we didn't have a midweek game and we're training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because we knew with the TV deal that we might have a Thursday game, and lo and behold, we've got one second or third week of the season. So we specifically planned for no midweek game, and to get them out of their routine of having a day off in the middle of the week. So they'll have 3 tough days before having Thursday off, and then we're back in Friday, and then obviously go up to South Shields. We know exactly what the plan is. We've got some transition practices and some create and scoring practices to refine that, and then we'll go into the defending principles and start them the week after.
And I guess decisions on trialists and things like that?
Yes, that'll happen.
Okay. All right. Thank you, David. Cheers.
No problem. Thank you.